safety reason, I'll be sending the recordings.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
And so, good afternoon, students. Today we are basically, this meeting is scheduled to discuss regarding your essay prompts. Okay, so as we all know, for the modern Indian universities, they require to see what you have been doing in the last 3 or 4 years, maybe, which is your high school year. So beginning from 9th to 12th, the idea of these writing skills basically is to showcase your growth, your achievements, if you have any, whether it is academics or extracurricular activities. And even if there are no awards or achievements, your participation is what they want to see. So the idea of these writing skills is to shortlist in most of the cases, and then they will have the further rounds. So based on your academics, based on the application form that you're going to be filling, and based on these writing skills combined, the admission process takes place. So I'm going to just share my screen with you, wherein you can see the writing skills that we have here.
Yes, ma'am, we are able to see this.
Okay, right. So we are basically going to talk about the writing skills. And before we come to the individual prompt discussions, we need to understand why we need to focus on the writing skills. Because one, when you're writing, you're able to express yourself freely. And also, if you have any conflict of thoughts, then when you write them down, you're able to resolve that conflict, and it brings more clarity in what you want to express. So that is why these writing skills are key, especially for your application process. Then before we go to individual prompt discussions, there are certain do's and don'ts that you need to keep in mind when you are going to attempt these prompts. So first and the most important thing is, when we say in school, you've been to saying essay topics, but when it comes to university applications, we call them as essay prompts. And because most of the times these prompts are not like a topic given to you, they are more which they are kind of statements which make you think more deeply as to what you want to write. So it's extremely important to read the prompt carefully. And when since you have the internet available to you, so it's very natural that you have the tendency to immediately Google and see the kind of samples available or what the past students have been doing. I understand that's a very natural process, but please do not limit yourself to the samples that you read. That is the biggest drawback. When we read the samples, we kind of just do what we have read, and we don't try and think out of the box. And thinking out of the box and your own thought process, that is the key for writing an excellent essay for your university applications. So it's a very good idea that when you will read the prompt, as we will discuss now, you will see that in most of the prompts, what they want to understand is your thought process, your journey, how you have grown as an individual, how your thought process has matured or changed. So it's a good idea that before you start actually writing down the essay, you write down some pointers for yourself. And in those pointers, include the major landmark incidents that have happened in your life. So it could be any incident that you want to talk about, and the focus is either it has to reflect personal growth or it should be reflecting your academic growth. Either of the two, it should fall into that category. Then it qualifies as a landmark incident that has happened. All the events, all the competitions that you have participated in, if you have won awards or laurels for the school, very good. If you haven't, no problem, still write them down, because even participation events and competitions do make a difference. They help in shaping your overall personality. Then certain defining moments in your life. Now, these defining moments might not only be related to academics. Maybe you have been part of your interact club in school. Maybe you've been part of some youth club wherein you have done activities which are like community service activities, or during the COVID, if you were involved in certain activities, and they could be life changing. Some incident, some anecdote, if you want to quote from there, that should also be written down, because that helps in making your essay more personalized and also adds depth to your writing. So that is going to be important there. So as I've discussed kind of most of these things, so whatever projects you've done, if in case you have done any review of literature or any research paper that has been written or it has been published, that should also be written down. You need to be creative and a compelling introduction. So right from the start, it is important that you are able to grip the attention of the reader. You need to understand there are thousands of applications. The people who are evaluating your applications are going to read. So it's extremely important that your introduction is catchy, it is good. It can be a simple introduction, that's not a problem. It's not important that you have to have a quotation or you have to have an anecdote. It's not important. A simple line or a statement is good enough, as long as it grips the attention of the reader. Now, when we say we need to be creative, being creative does not mean we compromise on the structure of the essay. So an essay has to have what you have been reading in school all of these years, right from your middle school to high school. It has to have an introduction, it has to have a body and a conclusion. Same structure is followed here. And it has to flow. There has to be connectivity in your essay. When we say introduction mostly will talk about either your interest in the subject, how the interest in the subject developed, as we will see based on the prompts that we will be reading just now. So mostly it is about how your interest came into being or how that particular activity came into being. Then it's going to be the body, the main content. And then finally, we are going to conclude the essay in such a way that we are able to connect our entire written piece that we have done here. Most important part of your essay is the grammatical points that need to be considered. Most of the times, the essays we receive, they are not properly punctuated. There are no full stops. Long sentences, you can have a complete paragraph with just one sentence with commas used everywhere. Absolutely incorrect style of writing. Such long sentences will lead to multiple grammatical errors, sentence construction errors, and the connectivity is lost. Don't try and write very long sentences. Punctuate your sentences well, not just commas, semicolons, colons, full stops, apostrophes, even inverted commas when you're quoting verbatim or when you are in writing in a conversation style. Again, inverted commas are extremely important there. Do break your writing into paragraphs. Please don't give one long paragraph for 750 words or 650 words. Do not give one long paragraph. Otherwise, it becomes extremely difficult to edit the essays that we get. Again, between the paragraphs, suitable connecting sentences should be there, and there should be a smooth transition. There shouldn't be abrupt jumps happening in the essay. You have to, smartly connect your written piece that you're giving. Spelling mistakes really need to be avoided. Please, if you don't have or install Grammarly on your systems, Grammarly will give you prompts wherever you're going wrong. So those inadvertent errors can be avoided. And once you have written the whole piece, you need to proofread your entire written piece in one shot, because you might write the essay in breaks, you might not write it in one single day. So it's extremely important to proofread the whole document, because once you proofread the documents, most of the times the loss in connectivity can be covered for, because when you are reading it in one shot, then you are able to understand where while writing you have gone wrong. So proofreading is extremely important. Now, this we will discuss as per the prompt, so we'll skip this slide for now. Now let's come to the individual essays. Good idea to make notes if you people want to pen down some points, because when you write something, the retention power is better. So now, since most of you apply to Ashoka. Yes, sir.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry. Guys, whosoever is applying for Ashoka, please have a paper and pen and jot down the things. Or if you want to click the picture of this, you can. But it is very important that we actually understand the concept of this writing. It will help us in actually framing it well. So everyone, please jot the things down, whatever ma'am is saying. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you have any doubt or anything to discuss, we'll do it once we've discussed all the prompts. Then we can take a couple of minutes to discuss your individual doubts or discussions. Okay. Now, please understand, in Indian universities, on-the-spot essay writing also takes place. So whatever written content that you're going to provide, we are going to edit it. We are not going to write it from scratch. Because if we write it from scratch here, when you're going to write the essay there, on the spot essay, the writing style will differ and you can get caught. Also remember, the essays that are written, when the interviews take place, they might ask you questions based on your essay. So you need to be thorough with what you're writing, and you need to be completely convinced. There has to be conviction in your writing, because if it is your writing, your points, what you believe in, it's extremely easy to answer the questions that are going to be put up for you. Okay, so I wanted to bring this point right in the beginning, because that's the most common question that we get, that, okay, whatever we have written, when you're going to edit it, it can be rewritten. It's going to be pure editing. We avoid rewriting, because on-the-spot essays happen in the Indian universities. Okay, so we'll begin with Ashoka University. Now, the question, as you all can read, says, at a residential campus, if a conversation with fellow students extends late into the night and is about a particular topic or issue that you are deeply passionate about, what would the topic be, and what would your perspective and views be on it? Now, as you can understand from the prompt actually says that in case you are sitting with your friends and you are having a conversation, what is a topic that you are so deeply passionate about, which means that you have strong views on that topic and you want to either convince others, or you are open to discussion for talking about these topics. So pick one topic. Now, what is important here is, most of the time students get confused what kind of topic to pick up. Yes, the topic has to be chosen smartly, because you just cannot talk about any random thing which has no depth. Because if it's a topic about which you can discuss at length, deep into the night, till 2 or 3 in the morning, that topic has to have depth. Some element of social issue or societal awareness. It could be a political topic that you want to talk about. Try and see if there could be a connection with the subject that you're choosing to study in that particular university. But that is not a point that is mandatory. It's not like if you're going in for psychology, the topic has to be something related to psychology. But if an inference can be drawn, if we can bring some kind of a connection, that's a good thing, but it's not mandatory. Okay, so we've had some over the years, some multiple topics. Like, for example, one student wanted to talk about mental health issues. She felt very strongly about that, so she wrote an essay about that. Somebody could talk about somebody wanted to talk about the economics part of it, so they kind of brought a connection to that how our buying behavior is controlled by the choices we have or the perspectives we have. So that was a topic they wanted to talk about. Some people want to bring about a topic which has more community flavor to it. So, one of them felt that they wanted to talk about the issues surrounding a girl child or equal opportunities for women. So there could be number of topics that we can discuss about, but it has to have depth in your writing. It cannot be a superficial look at the topic. Otherwise, 400 words sometimes seem too less or too little. And in both the cases, if there is no clarity in our writing, only this happens. So you need to write down the points. You need to understand which direction you are taking the topic into and not make it a mishmash, because otherwise the reader is not going to be convinced of your writing. So discuss about the topic. First think within yourself, write down the points, then you can have a discussion with someone and then eventually write down the topic. Okay, now the second question that Ashoka says is that they'll ask you to write down number of books. So 3 books you have to write down that you have read. So please ensure that you read the books. Even if you're not able to read them now and you just want to write the names of the books, eventually you're supposed to read them, because you could be asked questions about that in the interview as well. So 3 books are mandatory. So this, of course, is not related to the books that you will write. There is another question which is of only 50 words, wherein they say that you have to pick any 2 characters, and then no, that is something else. Yeah, that is about a book that you recommend, that you would like to recommend to others to read. So again, it has to be one of the books from the list that you provide that you have read and you feel is so compelling that you want others also to read that book. So that's just 50 words. The lesser the word limit, the more difficult it is to write down what you want to express. So be very clear and precise. This is a question of 150 words, wherein you have to pick any 2 fictional characters from either a movie or a television series or a book that you have read, and you would like to befriend these characters. So any 2 characters need not be, both characters need not be from the same series or the same movie or the same book. They could be 2 different characters. But what you need to write here is the characteristics of those characters, the qualities that appeal to you and why you would want to be friends with them. Again, the word limit is 150. So it should be like about 70 words for both the characters. That's how you should try and break it down. It could be different. You might want to write a little more about one character and a little less about the other. That is absolutely fine. But in your head, you should be able to break down it almost 50-50 for both the characters. Okay, so this is as far as Ashoka is concerned. 3 questions, and then you have activities wherein you have to write down all that you have done in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. All the activities, the competitions, the leadership roles that you've been involved in, if you've been part of any clubs or from the student council member, or you've been heading a competition or an event. So all these would qualify under your leadership skills, and whatever other competitions, or if extra some online courses that you have pursued, even that should be mentioned in your extra activities that you have. Okay, so this is about the books. that we've already discussed. Okay. Yeah, now we come to the Flame University questions. Now, question here, they have three questions. The first question says, why do you wish to join Flame University? Now, most of the times when the university asks you, why do you want to do this? You give us very generalized answers. But when a university is specifically asking you, why do you wish to join Flame? You need to be extremely specific. Why Flame? What appeals to you about Flame, about the course that you're going to pursue in Flame? So it's a good idea to look through the Flame University online, whatever material is available about the course that you're going to do. If you could pick out one or two subjects from the course that appeal to you, or if on LinkedIn, if you can follow the professors of the university and you are able to see the work that those professors have done, some research papers, some survey conducted, something notable about Flame, about the course, that should be mentioned here. Academic and or non-academic career goals that you would like to achieve in the next 5 years. Again, they are looking for specific answers, not just generalized overview. Please don't write statements like, I'm an informed individual and I would like to be involved in philanthropic activities. Don't give just generalized statements. Those can only be like an introduction. You need to specify what are you looking at. What is your academic? What is your career goal? If non-academic means you might be involved in some sport activities, in some of you, one of you could be pursuing singing very passionately and have learned it professionally. So something like that can be mentioned here. Creativity, innovation, and research are driving factors of a student's success. Agree or disagree, give your reasons. Now, here again, this is a prompt about which you need to think. You need to evaluate within yourselves what you feel about each discipline that they're talking about: creativity, innovation, and research. So here you have to think carefully and then agree or disagree. Whatever you feel your points are for, you're going to write about it. And since there are no word limit given, so normally for C question, we could go up to say 350 to 450, 500 words. And for the others, I think we can restrict it to about 250 words. So because since they haven't really given us any word limit here. Okay, so Kriya, again, here, this is a long question for Kriya, and this is exactly what we were talking about. What is your personal story, and how would studying at Kriya help you become the person you want to be? Here we are keen to know about your life journey so far. This could include important junctures in your life, the choices you have made, your successes, and also what you may have learned from your failures. We want to understand the most distinctive part of you, your beliefs, your motivation, and your aspirations in life. The purpose of this section is for us to be introduced to the person that you are and the one that you want to become. So again, here, you will carefully think about any particular challenge or obstacle that you have faced. Again, last 4 years should be your focus. And so how did you overcome those failures, those challenges? You can even choose to write about any one event, any one competition where you have done some commendable work or which brought about a spurt in your personal growth or in your academic growth. Even that can be written about here. Again, you need to show the journey, the transition, the growth, your takeaway. So whatever we write, that is the key. What have you learned from it? Your learnings, your takeaway, your transitions, your before and after. That is what is most important. The word limit for this is around 750 words. So it's a lot. But again, you need to also include a lot here. So the idea is to bring in your achievements, to bring in your participation, your journey, your academic growth as well into this essay. So 750 words might seem a lot, but when you start writing, it's difficult to accommodate everything that you have been doing in the last 4 years into just this much. Okay, so that's it from my side, and we are open to questions. Nikhil sir, we can take some questions. Yeah, Jovina, please open your video as well when you're going to ask the question.
Am I visible?
You're not clearly audible.
Hello?
No.
Hello?
Yeah.
So I was applying to Shivnadar. There's a part of critical writing there. Do you know what we have to write in that?
What is the prompt or the question? What does it say?
There's no prompt as such. It's part of the application. Like
Okay. What is it
afterwards.
asking?
Exam, during the exam. Critical writing.
Just critical writing. They've not given you anything.
It's part of the exam. Like when we go there and give the exam. Not part of the application, but like there's essay writing and then there's critical writing.
Okay. So, but critical writing, is it related to any topic that they've given, or have they given you any kind of an explanation as to what are they looking at? What kind of topic they would be giving?
No, I think they might give it later. Not yet.
Okay, so okay, I'll check about this and then get back to you for this, Jovina. Yeah. So I don't think anyone has any questions. So I think we can conclude. Nikhil sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. You're calling me?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm done from my side, and I don't think they have any questions because they're not asking any questions as such. There's a doubt for Jovina for Kriya, so we need to check for that.
Not Priya, it's Shivnadar.
Sure.
Oh,
Anyone
sorry,
else
for
has some?
Shivnadar. For Shivnadar.
No harm, ma'am. Anyone else has some doubts related to these universities? Go with Soumya and Tanya. Please reconfirm.
No, sir.
Yeah, Kovida has raised her hand. Yes, Kovida, please open your video when you talk.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
So
evening.
I wanted to ask about the on-the-spot essays. So for Ashoka, basically, we have an on-the-spot essay also.
Yeah.
So how do we go about that? Because as if I'm being very honest, I'm not very good at writing. So how can I ace that?
See, the key to good writing is reading a lot. So, since you still have time for the written exam, so start reading and just read a little about, articles or some blogs or general reading, because you just have to develop a flair for writing. Otherwise, whatever the topic is going, it's your views. They're not going to ask you something so different that you can't think about. So if you look at the topic that they've given you here, it's a topic on your views on anything that you have conviction in, that you have belief in. So it's going to be something similar. These kind of topics are all only going to be there. So just don't how do I say, don't complicate your writing. Just keep it simple. That is why we are saying that when you're giving us the essays, you need to write the essays in your style, and we will try and edit them only and not change them drastically. Because otherwise, when you will write there, it's going to get difficult. they're going to see that this essay was not written by you, and what you're writing here is going to be radically different from that. So just read a lot besides your academic books, although I know you're all hard pressed for time now because your boards are coming up and you're already in the middle of your pre-boards. But just read articles, blogs, and whatever you can lay your hands on, not besides academic reading, because that is only going to help you develop a flair for writing.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Right. Anyone else has some doubts, or we can actually close the meeting now? Right. So I think there's no more doubt. So if in case you guys have any kind of doubts, guys, you can post it in the groups. You have your own groups. Everyone has their groups. So you can just post it there, and we'll help you in resolving those things. All right. So start writing these things whenever you're applying for this university. I hope these points were clear. Start writing on that particular part, whatever has been discussed. And that's it. Best of luck, guys. So we're closing this meeting. Thank you.
All right, children, all the best.
Thank
Thank you.